rather like during the period after 9/11, you had all kinds of expansions of surveillance possibilities. And some of them were very flimsy in the permissions that had been granted for them.
A new report from Queen's University outlines how Canadians' personal information was used and misused during the COVID-19 pandemic. The surveillance research team, led by Professor David Lyon, examined big data that changed hands between security, marketing, and government sectors over 5 years from 2016 to 2021. In one example, the report found Ontario police forces had access to and searched the COVID-19 health databases relating to active infections for several months until civil liberties whistle was blown in 2020.
What was clear was the extent to which government departments had access to data that was unusual and that seems to have been unauthorized in both the cases that you mentioned.
I don't have a problem with it. I signed up for the Canada one where they track the virus and they send me alerts.
I guess it depends what kind of information they're grabbing. Is it information that is already accessible to them? Because I know our phone's already tracked, right?
Beginning the research in 2016 when the COVID-19 pandemic broke out, Lyons' team refocused their attention on how big data is used in coping with a public health crisis. It found that citizens have little idea about what data is collected about them, how that data is increasingly tangled, and that vulnerable individuals are more targeted than others. Some groups, such as women, Black people, and Indigenous groups, are particularly vulnerable to today's surveillance.
But the difficulty is that in some cases, the surveillance, and sometimes the lack of surveillance, actually worsens the situation for many. And I think that's one thing that isn't really understood.
I think we should know when we're being surveillanced so that people can just, not have their privacy infringed upon.
We all should be getting more educated on how to better protect ourselves.
But it's not too late to start walking back the increase in data collection. The report suggests it starts with educating everyone for everything from smartphone use to responsible computing systems, and not to rule out creating new ways of assessing and regulating digital information. Erin Strickland, Global News, Kingston.